One sober to another. Happy New Year to you. Today is 1 January 2021. And if you didn't get the opportunity to check out last night's live stream, give it a look. What's with the hat? Today marks the 3 years that I've been retired from the United States Army, and it feels just like yesterday that I was there. I still find myself trying to correct people about how they wear their uniform and everything else, but then I realize it's just an internal part of me that can't let go. Kind of like when I had my first day of sobriety, I was full of panic and anxiety and fear of what was next without alcohol. That's why with today's daily reflection, I know that I am a miracle. Let's go. Hey, so what did you do last night? All right, let's dive into this. I am a miracle. The central fact of our lives today is that the absolute certainty that our Creator has entered into our hearts and lives in a way which is indeed miraculous. He has commenced to accomplish those things for us which we could not do by ourselves. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 25. This truly is a fact of my life today and a real miracle. I always believed in God, but could never put that belief meaningfully into my life. Today, because of Alcoholics Anonymous, I now trust and rely on God as I understand him or her. I am sober today because of that. Learning to trust and rely on God was something I could never have done alone. I now believe in miracles because I am one. You know, January in 2016 was probably one of the most volatile times in my lifetime. The reason is because I knew that I was at the end of my time to drink. I knew that if my life did not make a change, there was not going to be any better outcome than what I was already living. And I was living alone. I was fearful, by myself, and on the verge of losing my Army career. All because 12 ounces controlled the way that I operated within my daily life. And if you can relate to that, drop your comments below so somebody gets some of that. I did not believe in God in the traditional way that people believe, or paint the picture of God. And I didn't have religion when I was growing up, so this never occurred to me. But what did occur to me is when I finally got to Alcoholics Anonymous, and that might not be your thing. I covered that last night, and I cover that in almost every video, people. But when I finally got to Alcoholics Anonymous, I looked around at people who had joy and people who had a life of fulfillment and happiness, and I wanted that. I wanted that so badly, and I just didn't know how I was going to achieve that. And the person who I picked up as my sponsor, who I also talked about last night, was he told me about finding a higher power. And for me, it sounded like a bunch of bull crap, and that these were people just relying on something that they didn't have the backbone to do in the first place. That's just how I thought. But now looking backwards, not backwards, but looking at that moment, I understand that when I was at the point in my life where there was nothing that was going to change unless I made an absolute change, a higher power, actually my higher power, which is God, it might not be a thing, but my higher power gave me the wisdom through my sponsor that I had the strength and I had the ability, because I could do 20 years in the Army. I could lead soldiers. I could go to combat. I could be homeless, and I could go through a very traumatic childhood. I could be lost in my identity and everything else and still make it out and still have a way and, a opportunity to make things a little bit better every time that I stepped into those situations. But I couldn't stop drinking. I couldn't put the 12 ounces, and I used to call them 12 ounces of freedom, people. And for me, that's what I felt it was. I felt it was my escape, and I felt it was the only way that I could get rid of the childhood and get rid of the fears that I had and everything else, and the inability to talk to people. I could cure it with alcohol. And once that shit stopped working, folks, and I know I just cussed in the new year, but I'm trying to curb my enthusiasm a little bit, and I'll do it for you. And if you join me, then we'll do it together. So this truly is a fact in my life today, and a real miracle. I always believed in God. I did not always believe in God, and I just put that out there. And a lot of us don't, and that's okay, because it takes certain things in our lives, in my life, for me to see that something else is working with me, and to make it in my recovery, and to make it in my sobriety. I put my faith and my drive into my higher power. And like I said yesterday, thy will be done, not mine. You know, that's true in effect, because I would not be sober if it wasn't for my higher power, and I would not be alive right now talking to you if it wasn't for my higher power. Let me know how this mic is working out. I actually got a hold of it. It's a Rode mic. It's pretty cool. I actually got a hold of it from Simone, and you know, she's kind of partnered up with my boy Tim G, and I just want to throw a quick shout out to her. Thank you for the mic. It's working out pretty good. Hopefully there's not a lot of feedback in this video. And you know, last night's video was a little bit foggy, but I found out how to use my awesome cell phone that I use this for as a webcam. So next time I do a live stream, and if you want me to do a live stream again, give me a thumbs up. Next time I do one, I'm using this as a webcam, and I kind of went on a tangent, but here we go. Let's go back into this just real quick, because I'm going to wrap it up and let you go about your day and enjoy your first day of 2021. He has commenced to accomplish those things for which we could never do by ourselves. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 25. And I already threw that out there, folks. There's a lot of people out there right now on their first day of sobriety, and their first day of peeling themselves off the carpets, or taking the walks of shame back to where they came from for that party that they went to that they probably should not have due to COVID-19, but I'm not allowed to say COVID-19, so I will say global pandemic. And oh, I said it, didn't I? Whoops. Taking those walks of shame and everything else, and trying to figure out if they have a problem. Well, for me, when I was waking up at bus stops and underneath tanks and in the back rooms of nightclubs and everything else, and in different cities and different states, it didn't occur to me that I had a freaking problem. It really didn't. I thought that I just rocked that night, and you know, I brought in the new year with a little bit of flair. But that's not the case, folks. And once I finally figured that out, and I figured out that alcohol wasn't working as my solution anymore, I decided I was going to do something about it. And the only way that I even came to that decision was through my higher power. And that's how I know, folks, I am a miracle. So enjoy your day. Enjoy the first day of 2021. Hopefully it's a good one for you. You thrive and you're happy and healthy. And if you're not sober and you want to get sober, hit me up. There are plenty of links below for you for Alcoholics Anonymous, even just relapse prevention, suicide prevention, and everything else. All of that is down below, as well as to get a hold of some of the materials that I use here on One Sober to Another. And folks, there's a lot of good stuff coming in 2021. I look forward to sharing it with you. I hope you have a good day. Life's a garden. Dig it. I'm going to see you in the next one.